SpaceX's Starship deployed its payload for the first time. Anthropic reached a settlement over a class action piracy lawsuit. And Meta is launching a California super PAC. It's Wednesday, August 27th, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. SpaceX has successfully launched the Starship for its 10th test flight after it was delayed a couple of times due to weather conditions and other issues. This time, the company was able to achieve its objectives without the vehicle and its booster exploding mid-test. One of those objectives was deploying Starship's payload for the first time ever. Now, if you will recall, Starship exploded during its ascent stage in the company's 7th and 8th test flights. The vehicle made it to space for its 9th test, but it failed to deploy its fake satellite payload. In June, a Starship vehicle exploded on the ground while the company was preparing it for its 10th flight test. The company had to use another upper stage called Ship for the 10th flight after that explosion. It also incorporated changes into the ship and its super heavy booster based on what it learned from those previous attempts. Now, for this test, SpaceX intended to conduct several experiments with the booster, such as flipping it and playing with engine configurations as it made its way back down. Due to the experimental nature of the test, SpaceX did not try to catch it with the launch tower's chopstick arms. Instead, it made a controlled descent into the Indian Ocean, where it exploded upon making contact with the water. Meanwhile, Ship continued flying into space. Around 20 minutes after launch, the upper stage started ejecting 8 dummy Starlink satellites into space before relighting one of its engines in flight as part of another test. After that, it started making its way back to Earth, where it also splashed down into the Indian Ocean a bit over an hour after launch. Of course, SpaceX still has a long way to go, including having to figure out how to retrieve the vehicle's upper stage after a flight in order for the Starship to be fully reusable. Anthropic has settled a class action lawsuit brought by a group of authors for an undisclosed sum. The move means the company will avoid a potentially more costly ruling if the case regarding its use of copyright materials to train artificial intelligence tools had moved forward. In June, Judge William Alsop handed down a mixed result in the case, ruling that Anthropic's move to train LLMs on copyrighted materials constituted fair use. However, the company's illegal and unpaid acquisition of those copyrighted materials was deemed available for the authors to pursue as a piracy case. With statutory damages for piracy beginning at $750 per infringed work, and a library of pirated works estimated to number about 7 million, Anthropic could have been on the hook for billions of dollars. Litigation around AI and copyright is still shaking out, with no clear precedents emerging yet. This also is not Anthropic's first foray into negotiating with creatives after using their work. It was sued by members of the music industry in 2023 and reached a partial resolution earlier this year. Plus, the details of Anthropic's settlement also have yet to be revealed. Depending on the number of authors who make a claim and the amount Anthropic agreed to pay out, either side could wind up feeling like the winner after the dust settles. Meta is throwing its resources behind a new super PAC in California. According to Politico, the group will support state-level political candidates who espouse tech-friendly policies, particularly those with a loose approach to regulating artificial intelligence. The budget behind the social media company's new super PAC, dubbed Mobilizing Economic Transformation Across California, is reported to be in the tens of millions of dollars, but no exact figure has been disclosed. California has made several efforts with varying degrees of success to enact protections against potentially harmful AI use cases. The state passed a law protecting the digital likenesses of actors in 2024, but has faced challenges to a bill that blocked election misinformation deepfakes and to one that more broadly sought protections against critical harm caused by AI. This creation of the Super PAC puts Meta into a prominent position to influence races in 2026, when California will have midterm elections and vote for a new governor. Brian Rice, Vice President of Public Policy at Meta, said Sacramento's regulatory environment could stifle innovation, block AI progress, and put California's technology leadership at risk. Politico reported that Rice and Meta policy executive Greg Maurer are likely to lead the political fundraiser. Meta has not been shy about throwing money into politics to advance its business interests. According to Open Secrets, the company has spent $13.7 million on lobbying to date this year. Its roughly $8 million lobbying spend in the first quarter of the year vastly outpaced that of other tech majors. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Mariella Moon and Anna Washenko and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day. I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.